श्रीमतो श्रद्धया नित्यं विनोदस्य विस्तृतं नाति विधेन पालेन भगवान् विशते। नित्य प्रति श्रद्धा का श्रवण, एक दिन श्रवण कर लिया हो गया नित्य, और जो श्रवण किया है इनको आग्रह के साथ ग्रहण करने को क्या होंगे? नाति विधेन पालेन भगवान् विशते। थोड़ी दिन का अंदर में भगवान हृदय में बढ़ जाएगी। इसलिए नित्य श्रवण कीर्तन जरूरी। एक ही आदमी हो और बाद में आदमी ना भी कीर्तन करना कोई सुनना, ग्रंथ पढ़ना रोज सुनना। नित्य भागवत सेवया, नित्य भागवत सेवा। भागवत एक दो, एक है ग्रंथ भागवत और एक है भक्त भागवत। ग्रंथ भागवत को सेवा, भक्त भागवत को सेवा। इससे भगवान हृदय में बैठ जाएंगे। भगवान हृदय में बैठ जाएंगे मतलब क्या? भगवान है आनंदमय वस्तु, तो वही हमारा हृदय आनंद में भरपूर। ज्यादा आदमी होने से होली भक्ति ज्यादा होगा ऐसा बात नहीं। ज्यादा हो तो कीर्तन करने में उत्साह होता है, लेकिन एक भी हो नित्य श्रवण कीर्तन जरूर। लेकिन को याद रखना, हमारा दो ही क्षेत्र, भक्त और भगवान। हमारा गुरु जी बोलते से सिर्फ नहीं, अपना जीवन में कार्य पूरी करके दिखाया। जब कुछ भी नहीं है विराट उत्सव किया, सब वैष्णव का सेवन का व्यवस्था किया, सबको जाने आने को कराया, वस्त्र आदि देकर सेवा की। क्यों? ये तो मकान वगैरह बाद में बन जाएगा, लेकिन वैष्णव सेवा का सुयोग आएगा आएगा। इसलिए जल्दी कलकत्ता में गृह प्रवेश करो, ये सब हो जाएगा। लेकिन वैष्णव कहाँ मिलेगा? वैष्णव अब मैं कैसे पहचानूं? जिसने गुरुदेव जिनको स्वीकार किया है वही वैष्णव है। मैं पहचानता नहीं, लेकिन गुरुदेव जिनको स्वीकार किया ये वैष्णव। इसलिए बोला वैष्णव देवता लोग भी पहचानेंगे। बड़ा मुश्किल। तो इसीलिए आप लोगों को मेरा प्रार्थना है, नित्य प्रति यही भागवत सेवा अवश्य करना। ज्यादा धन का जरूरत नहीं है, तन से, मन से, जुबान से एक भक्त भगवान को सेवा। इसलिए भगवान दिखाया धन से सेवा होता है ऐसा बात नहीं। विदुर का घर में खाया, वृंदावन को वन दिया। रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी राजा का लड़का, बहुत सेवा करने का अधिकार, उनका पीछा का नौदियावासी वैष्णव का उपदेश पूछा, लेकिन उसमें महत्व को संतोष नहीं था। जब रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी सोड़ा हुआ चावल को धो के नीमक का साथ खाया, तब चैतन्य देव का इतना भूख होगा वो छीन के खाया। छीन के कब खाता है? जब भूख ज्यादा हो, सहन नहीं। तो भगवान का भूख क्या होता है? भक्तों का हृदय में प्रेम। एक भक्त श्री रघुनाथ
मैं बोल
तो वहां गया, अत्यंत गरीब, तो सब भक्तों तो आया, अच्छा अच्छा चीज मिल के आया, लेकिन भगवान किनको बोला? जिनका पास कुछ नहीं है, कपड़ा भी अच्छा नहीं है, फटा हुआ सिलाई किया, उनको ही बुलाया, तुमने क्या लाया? इतना भक्त इतना कुछ लाया, अच्छा अच्छा गुलाब का माला सब कुछ लाया, बोला नहीं। और जिन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं, उनको ही बुलाया, तुमने क्या लाया? तो बोला भक्त चतुर्थ, बोला मैं भी लाया। तब मेरा चीज जो है बड़ा गंदा चीज है, ये चीज आपको स्वीकार करने पड़ेगा तो मैं बताऊं, नहीं तो नहीं बताऊं। तब भगवान कहते हैं तुम तो बताओ। बोले आप कसम दे दो, क्या ये गंगा चीज अब स्वीकार करेंगे? मैं ये भी बोल देता हूं, मैंने जो चीज लाया ये आपके पास है नहीं। तो भगवान कहते हैं हमारे पास है नहीं, ऐसा उसको मिले तो मैं देंगे नहीं। तो उन्होंने बोला मैं अपना मौन को आपको देने के लिए आता है, बड़ा गंदा चीज ऐसा बुरा सोचते, कोई मौन आपको मैं देने के लिए। तो भगवान ने पूछा हमारा मौन हमारे पास नहीं है, तुमको कैसे मालूम पड़ा? तुमने बोला हमारे पास आई वो चीज नहीं, तो हमारे पास जो चीज नहीं है तुमने कैसे जान लिया? तुम्हें ठोक से पहचान। जब आप गऊ का दूध निकालते हैं तब क्या होता है? वो मट्टी में गिरता है, बर्तन में गिरता नहीं। अगर मन होता तो कोई बर्तन में गिरता। तो यदि मन नहीं है कहाँ चला गया? ये बताओ तो। बोले आपका मन चला गया गोपियों के पास, इसी नाते भगवान कोई नहीं पंचा। इसलिए आप लोगों से प्रार्थना करता हूँ भगवान की इच्छा से आज सीखो ना सीखो यही बात है। अब लोग पूरी भक्तों सेवा भगवत सेवा ये नित्य प्रति करना।
उत्तम से धन्यवाद करो, कर दो। आपका अभ्यास है तो बोलो क्या?
Srila Mahārāja started speaking one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Śrūṇvatam Śraddhaya Nityam. In this verse, it is well mentioned that a person who hears Srimad Bhagavatam, Śrūṇvatam Śraddhaya Nityam, hears Srimad Bhagavatam with firm faith, with firm conviction that yes, this is the topmost thing which will bring topmost auspiciousness in my life. Shraddhaya, Śrūṇvatam Śraddhaya Nityam, and he practically hears every day. Śrūṇvatam Śraddhaya Nityam, Grihnitam Swacheshtitam, and he gives his full energy to accept it. That like his ears, his mind, his whole energy he gives to understand the real meaning the real teaching, whatever is coming through Srimad Bhagavatam. If one does that, then what happens? Bhagavan, he क्या श्लोक है? नाति दीर्घेन कालेना, without delay, Lord comes and sits in the heart of such a sincere sadhak. Then Śrīla Mahārāja mentioned that Bhagavatam, when it is been mentioned that Shraddhaya, Shrunvatam Shraddhaya Nityam, means you have to serve Srimad Bhagavatam, not with a mood of enjoyment, but with a mood of service hearing it. There are two kinds of Bhagavat. One is Bhakta Bhagavat and another is Grantha Bhagavat. Hearing, chanting about the Lord is one kind of service to the Bhagavat, and another service is that serving to the devotees is also considered serving Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavat, Bhakta Bhagavat, Grantha Bhagavat. So Śrīla Mahārāja said that it is like we have come here now. He mentioned that I am not sure next time when I will come or come to this place or not. But whoever is here, I request everybody that they can give their full energy to serve both Bhagavat. Whenever it is possible to serve the Vaisnavas, Bhakta Bhagavat, then serve with your full capacity. And when that is not available, then at that time you can hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And when there is not so many people to hear, you can even read yourself. And in this way he mentioned that how, even though when there are many people, then it is much more like one gets enthusiasm to hear chant. But still when there are less people, then also always try to focus that we should make this as our real life, serving Bhagavat, whatever way it is possible. And then Śrīla Mahārāja, he mentions many times that when it is said that Nati Dirghena Kalena, without any delay, Lord comes and sits in the heart of such a sadhaka. What does it mean? Śrīla Mahārāja mentions that it means that from the very beginning, even though a person may have so many anarthas, but still Lord comes and sits over there. It may be that we may not be able to identify, we may not be able to see that Lord has come and sat in the heart, but He comes and sits in the heart. How? Śrīla Mahārāja gives an example. Like a tap which is leaking, drop by drop it is falling for many days, many months on the floor, marble floor. And then you see maybe after 6 months or 1 year, some impression in the floor, on the marble. So the time when you see that impression, at that time the last drop which were there, that particular drop made that impression, or the impression came from the very first drop itself. So Śrīla Mahārāja mentions impression starts from the very first drop itself. Even though we may see it after 6 months or after 1 year, but still impression started from the very beginning. So in the same way, the higher authorities, they can see very clearly that when a person is hearing Bhagavatam, serving Bhagavatam, then Lord is coming and sitting in the heart. Maybe for us, it is difficult to see Him at that time and realize it, but He is there. We may see after a long time. Like Śrīla Mahārāja mentions that there are things which we cannot see with our naked eyes, but the people from foreign see, they can see very easily with the same kind of eyes. Why? Because they are having experience. So in the same way, higher authorities like Shukdev Goswāmi, Vedavyas, they mention that as soon as a person wants to hear Bhagavatam, serve Bhagavat with their full sincerity, at that time what happens? Lord comes and without delay, He comes and sits in the heart of a sadhak. और क्या बताया था महाराज ने? हाँ. And then Śrīla Mahārāja mentioned that we are having two worshipable objects. Bhakt and Bhagavan. Then Śrīla Maharaj mentioned that his Guru Maharaj, Śrīla Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswāmi Maharaj, he used to mention again and again and again. Not only mention, even practically followed in his life also. Through his conduct, he also showed and taught others. What was that? He used to say, Vishnu and Vaishnava, they are two worshipable objects for me. If by chance, if it happens so that I am able to serve only one person out of these two, then what I will be doing? I will be choosing Vaishnava to serve, give up the service of Vishnu at that time. Why? Because by serving Vaishnavas, Vishnu is automatically served. Then Śrīla Maharaj mentioned it is not that he only said this, he showed this through his example also. The time when he left, or he was circumstantially, he left Chaitanya Math and started living in Kolkata in a rented house with some of his godbrothers and disciples. At that time, one of his godbrother, Bhakti Deshik Acharya Maharaj, who used to live in Braj, in the birthplace of Vishaka Sakhi, Kamai Karahala. From there, he wrote a letter to Śrīla Madhav Goswami Maharaj that Maharaj, I am having some kind of sickness. I have to get medicine. For this, I require 50 rupees. And I don't have. So, then Śrīla Madhav Goswami Maharaj, as soon as he received this letter, even though Śrīla Maharaj mentioned that at that time we had also not so much money. His Guru Maharaj was having not so much money in his hand. And in those days, they used to send some devotees to beg alms. They used to collect some rice every day. Extra rice they used to sell in the market. And with that they used to buy vegetables, oil, other things. So in this way, when this letter came, he immediately got very much worried. Started walking in his room, backward for whatever you call it. He started walking. And then he asked Śrīla Maharaj that you can go and call my godbrother Uddharan Prabhu, who used to live with him. When this Prabhu came, then Śrīla Madhav Goswami Maharaj asked him that you can go to that shopkeeper where we sell our rice. You can ask him that we want to borrow some money from him and we can supply rice. As soon as possible we try to collect more and more and we will bring him. So in this way, whatever money you can collect from him, please collect. And afterward, whatever remaining, you can please go to one devotee's house whose name was Govinda Prabhu. You can ask him. So in this way, somehow or other, they collected 50 rupees. As soon as that money came in the hand of Śrīla Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he asked Śrīla Maharaj that you can go immediately and send TMO. TMO बोलते हैं ना आप उसको? TMO ना क्या? कौन सा money order? TMO. So telegram money order. So Śrīla Maharaj mentions that he asked him that you have to go, don't send money order only, send TMO because it will reach immediately. And when Maharaj sent and came back and reported that we have sent, at that time he said, oh yes, we are very, very grateful to this devotee who has given us opportunity to serve him. And we are fortunate that we are able to serve him. So in this way, not only one thing, this book, Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, as well as the book which we have just printed, Volcanic Energy, mentions many stories like this, that how Śrīla Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he served his god brothers. And then Śrīla Maharaj mentioned that he used to say that who is Vaishnava? We are saying that we have to serve Vishnu and Vaishnava, especially Vaishnavas. Who is Vaishnava? Then he used to say that I cannot recognize who is Vaishnava. Why? Because Vaishnava Chinite Nari Devera Shakati, that even demigods, they cannot understand who is Vaishnava and who is not. So what is, how I can understand who is a Vaishnava? But for me, a person to whom my Gurudev has accepted as his own, and he mentioned that yes, I accept you, you are my disciple, I will take care of you. All these devotees, they are my like worshipable object, they are Vaishnava. Even though they may sometime oppose me. They may say something like some bad words for me even. They may find fault in me, but still they are my worshipable object. Why? Because they are having firm faith in the lotus feet of my Guru Pad Padma. And just because of that, they are my worshipable object. I am having faults, that's why they will find fault in me. But at the same time, they are my worshipable object. Why? Because they have taken shelter at the lotus feet of my Guru Dev and they are having firm faith in him. That's why they are my worshipable object. So in this way, Śrīla Mahārāja concluded that he used to say that all the devotees who have taken shelter at the lotus feet of Śrīla Prabhupada, they are my worshipable object, they are Vaisnavas. And then Śrīla Mahārāja mentioned that by serving Vaisnavas, what happens? One's heart gets cleansed. And one's mind gets fixed in the lotus feet of the Lord. At the end, he started mentioning one story that if we serve the Vaishnavas, then what happens? That whatever you give them with love, they accept. If you don't give them with love, if your service is not with love, then they don't accept. He said that for serving the Lord, for serving the Vaishnavas, only wealth is not required. Even if one may not have wealth, but still they are able to serve the Lord and his devotees. Why? Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that pranai arthai diya vacha shreya acharanam sada. That a person who is able to serve with his pran, means with his full life, with his full energy, chance is given to him to serve. But if it is not possible for him, then what he can do? Arthai, whatever energy he is utilizing his energy, whatever wealth he gets, he can use it for the service of Vishnu and Vaishnava. But even after working very hard, if a person does not get anything, he is poor, does it mean that he cannot serve the Lord or devotees? He can serve. How? Vacha, through his words, by hearing their words, hearing their words, again repeating those words, doing kirtan. And dhiya vacha, with one's intelligence, one can serve even if no money. So in this way, Śrīla Mahārāja started mentioning example of, first he gave example of Duryodhana and Vidur, that Krishna, even though Duryodhana he offered everything to him, all good ingredients were there, but still Lord did not accept it. Why? Because it was not given with love, even though he was having wealth, but his wealth was not being taken by the Lord. On the other side, Vidurani, she gave such kind of thing which is not considered having good ingredient in it, only the peel of banana. But because that was with love, that's why Lord accepted it. On the other hand, Śrīla Mahārāja gave an example of Śrīla Raghunatha Goswami's parents. His father as well as his uncle, they were very wealthy people. They were well known in Navadvip. Why? Because they used to serve most of the Brahmins in Navadvip, Nadia district. But still, when they sent money to Śrīla Raghunatha Goswami, and Raghunatha Goswami served Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from that money, like every Dwadashi he used to invite Mahaprabhu. For 2 years he spent some money from that and gave prasadam to Mahaprabhu, Jagannath prasadam. Afterward, Mahaprabhu, when Raghunatha Goswami stopped calling Mahaprabhu, at that time Mahaprabhu became very much pleased by hearing that why he stopped giving invitation. Why? Because he mentioned that I understood very clearly that for 2 years, even though Mahaprabhu was coming, but he was not pleased. Why? Because my father, my uncle, they are Vishay. That's why buying things with that money and giving to Mahaprabhu, Jagannath Prasadam, Mahaprabhu is not pleased with that. That's why he stopped inviting him. And Mahaprabhu praised him, yes, Vishair Anna Khaile Malin Haiman. It is proper that I don't want to take anything which has been bought with their money. But afterward, that Sriman Mahaprabhu, he took those kind of rice from the hands of Raghunatha Goswami, which were not even been taken by cows. And Raghunatha Goswami washed it and he used to eat himself, and Mahaprabhu forcefully took from his hand and ate it. Why? Because there was love in the heart of Raghunath Das Goswami. Even though he was not offering it, but Lord forcefully took from his hand and ate it. That's why Srila Maharaj mentioned that even though sometime what happens, can say like somebody brought rose flowers garland and somebody brings so many other ingredients, but still heart wants to go to any other person who may not have anything in his hand. But why it happens like that? Because that person is having love in his heart. For this, Srila Maharaj mentioned one story from Sri Ranganath. That one time many devotees came in the temple and most of the people, they brought many gifts for the Lord. But there was a person who was having no capacity to bring anything for the Lord. He came empty-handed. And even though people were offering many gifts, but Lord asked, where is that person? Where is that person? Then asked him that, oh, what you have got for me? At that time he mentioned that, oh Lord, I am having a thing which I want to offer you, but I am not sure that you will accept it or not. Then he mentioned that, oh, I will accept whatever you will give. Then he said that, okay, but you have to take sankalpa. You have to take a vow that you will definitely accept what I am going to offer. Then Lord said, yes, I can accept. And he mentioned that, oh, the thing which I will give you, that thing is not there with you also. You don't have that. Then Lord became astonished that, oh, anything which I don't have and you are going to give it to me, I will definitely accept it, I take a vow. At that time this devotee mentioned that my heart is very dirty. My mind is very dirty. I want to offer that particular thing to you, Lord. Can you take it? So then Lord asked him that, how can you say that I don't have my heart, I don't have mind? So at that time he mentioned that, oh, because I have heard when you take milk from the udders of cows, even though you are having bucket for milk in your hand while you are milking, but still milk is going on the ground, not in the bucket. Why? Because even though you are doing that activity, but still your mind is not there. Your mind has gone somewhere else. Then he said that, oh, that means you know where my mind gone. He said, yes, your mind goes to the gopis. You always think about them. That's why even though externally you are milking the cows, but still your mind is not there. I want to offer my mind to you, but it is dirty. Then Srila Maharaj mentioned that, Lord, the devotees, if they are having real love for the Lord, they are having some desire to serve Him, even though they speak these kind of words which seems like a dirty heart, but a person who knows where heart of Lord is and what He does, what He likes, how it is possible their heart is dirty. Because of their humbleness, they say like this. But Lord recognize them and call them, and even though externally they don't have anything in their heart, but Lord is only hungry for the love which devotees are having in their heart, not for anything else. So that's why again at the end Srila Maharaj mentioned that my humble request to all of you that you can serve as much as possible to do Bhagavat, this Granth Bhagavat and Bhakti Bhagavat, Vishnu and Vaishnava. Hare Krishna.
চলুন এবারে যাব